Hey, welcome back, Jack. How y'all doing today? Welcome back to another episode of the Zolyin podcast. And actually, this is not. I actually got this one wrong today. Well, we'll just leave it up there, I guess. I did a live stream the other day. You want to check it out? The thumbnails, that thumbnail over there. I'll put the link in the description if I can. Hopefully, I can remember that. I'll remember it. Um, and just to give you heads up, if you weren't aware, I did open up some options for donations. Links in the description for those. They're all up there. Those are the types of donations that are available. Feel free if you are a big fan of the channel and if you appreciate what I do, and if you want to see me do more of this content, because I would love to one day go full time with it, or at least help make the channel supplement the ability to improve the channel, right? So anyways, there's that. So today's topic is going to be something that I've been waiting for a while now. I decided to push back on the mercenary, the what do you call it, the psychology of the mercenary, because I have a little, more work to do on that one. I wanna get that one a little bit more prepared. Not ready yet for that. But today's we're gonna talk about the Joker. Okay, we're gonna talk about the Joker, the clown, the jester, whatever you want to call it. I think it's the most underrated person in my opinion. Now, again, none of these characteristics, personality types are one person out there. They're not. Okay, these are all aspects of a person. Okay, there's many types of personalities out there. Um, you know, and you're gonna find a lot of different types of people in the workplace. But again, these are archetypes that have that are a piece to a puzzle of a person. Okay, so you could be three parts of these people, right? You could have four parts of these that resonate with you. You could have five parts. Okay, if people are very complicated. They're never gonna be one and done. Okay, you could be two of them. I've seen that. So we'll talk more in the future about like what I call the splices. There's the different combinations of them and who they are, right? So, but for now, let's talk about the basic stuff. So, the Joker is a character who is one of the most underrated, in my opinion. The most slept on person, all right? He is the kind of guy who. So there's two options when you become disillusioned. If you are a believer, okay, you have two options once you are awake to the reality of the workplace and the corporate life and what it is and what that business is, the real nature of corporations and how they work, and understanding that these corporals are not God, or these corporals are not even competent. Okay, they're not even competent. You're more competent, like more likely than not, you are more competent than them. Okay, that wake up call is that's tough for a lot of people. Okay, so there's two paths that people take generally, and then they kind of shapes them a little bit more, and then they go from there. There's two paths once you're disillusioned. Okay, you either embrace the truth, right? You go down the what I call the Joker path, right? And you don't take it too seriously. You don't take them seriously. You take yourself more seriously, but you don't take them seriously, right? It's the path of building your own confidence and understanding that it's okay that this shit show is a shit show. Pardon my French. I'm sorry for swearing. So especially so early. But you embrace it, right? That's the embracing part. Or you become the sulker, which you could look at the sulker in the description. I'll put that in the description as well. You can watch that. Now, since we talked about the sulker, let's talk about the Joker. The Joker is somebody who is the opposite of the sulker, which is he embraces the truth, is at peace with it, and then proceeds to make it work for him. Okay, that's the more important part, making it work for you, focusing it on yourself and saying, okay, well, this place is doomed. This place is doomed. It's over, bro. Okay, and you're like, oh, it's over, bro. It's not. It's over, bro. I hate it here. My life is over. Everything is over. I'm doomed. It's like, oh, this place is doomed. All right, well, let's see what I can do to make how I can make this work for me, right? And so that's like the most important part, is figuring out, what parts of this operation work for me? How do I move on and up through this situation? How do I make this function in a way that is satisfactory for my own ends? Okay. And I think that's the most important part, is to kind of figure out, get to that stage at least as fast as you can. Figure out how to get to that point of like, okay, I'm the Joker. What do I do now? Right? The Joker is somebody who, after they look at that landscape and they make plans on how to work for themselves in that way, how to make it work for them, they learn to disconnect. It's a slow process. They are able to pick and choose what relationships in that workplace are important to them, and they foster those relationships. So that's usually for like a reference point, or they're a friend, somebody you meet outside of work, whatever. God forbid you even, if you decide to date from somebody at work, if you decide to date somebody at work, which I don't recommend ever, but I've seen it. If you do that, then usually the Joker will leave that place. They move up and on. They move either diagonally away from that company or entity, or they work for a competitor, or they move, right, in some way or shape or form. They disassociate, all right? Then they date the person, right? So going back to my main point, relationships. So they foster the relationships that are important to them, and the other relationships they try to keep neutral, or they let fall into the flames. The ones they let fall into the flames, it becomes a lot more toxic. They don't have resentment towards the person necessarily, although I've seen some Jokers have resentment to that person, but to certain people after that. But that's not common. That's like atypical, right? Usually there's a specific mitigating reason for that, mitigating circumstance for that. But back to my main point, they try not to let it go into flames. They try to like keep it neutral, which means separating themselves, keeping it as far separate as possible. So if they're working for like a supervisor they hate, they try to figure out how to like navigate so they can like not have that person be their supervisor, whether it's apply for another job, do remote work and try to like, automate everything. You didn't hear me say that last part. Things like that. They'll find any shortcut they can to disassociate themselves emotionally, spiritually, financially, whatever, as much as they can, physically as well. Of course, if they can get out of that the office, that they're the first people who are embracing the remote work. They were the number one person. Oh, we could work from home. Oh, I'm working from home permanently. That's what they'll do. They'll do that. And I think that's like a big wake-up call for a lot of people when they realize, oh, a lot of people are jokers. They're not coming back. They don't believe, they're not a fan of the family, the corporation family. They were like the first person who saw through that nonsense. And so that's, it's a wake-up call for a lot of people. A lot of supervisors, a lot of managers thought, oh, the workplace family is the most important thing. Now, some people believe that, but the Jokers were not. They were not about that. They never came back. And I'm all for it. I'm not against it at all. The Joker is a hard worker. They're a smart worker, first of all. So they will work smarter, not harder. They don't have any. They have irreverence for the workplace. They have irreverence for the systems. They have irreverence for the what do you call it? Irreverence is like the number one special ability of the Joker. If you haven't noticed, the second ability is the ability to disassociate, but also like in a way that's not obvious. Versus the mercenary who doesn't care. The Joker has more finesse than the mercenary as far as because the mercenary, they're going to another job. They don't give pardon my French again, but they don't care. They don't give two flying donkeys. Okay, they do not care. This place can fall apart. They will not be at all, they won't have issues with that. But the Joker understands, hey, this is probably my, go-to place. Even if I go to another place, I probably will like this place. I want to keep this in my back pocket to some degree. Not like it, but, need it for like funds, right? I want to have some sort of, they're good at resource management is what I'm trying to say. They don't burn bridges. They try not to if they can. They will avoid. They're very much the most strategic person, the Joker. They are the most strategic person. In case you haven't noticed, I'm definitely, I'm for sure biased, but I'm definitely part Joker for sure. Again, everybody else has strategies as well, but for the, as far as like the most optimal approaches, is the Joker. The Joker is the most optimal person. Like he tries to not at all, it's a very intricate design he has. It's a very, very delicate system. He wants to make sure every piece is in the right spot, and then he executes, and then he doesn't look back. When they execute, it's over. They do not navigate back. They don't go back to the old way. If they feel like they're getting pulled back into the office, they'll tolerate the they do the we'll tolerate this for now, right? But in their mind, they have already decided, okay, you are cattle. I have to get rid of you. You are becoming a toxic resource. You are no longer needed, right? They fire you, okay? That's the thing about Jokers. They don't get fired. They fire you normally, unless they want to get fired. If that's part of the plan, then they do get fired. They're very good at what do you call it? They're good at risk mitigation, but they're really about writing you off. Like, can I write you off now, or do I have to wait until it's optimal to do so? Once they do that, then it's over. Another aspect of the Joker is they see all the other like pitfalls, the other resource people, the other people in their office. They see all the people around them, and they have clear delineations of who each person is. Is this someone I take seriously? Is this someone I don't take seriously? Is this somebody who is a joke to me? And that's how they kind of move in the world. They don't really take offense to like, people's behaviors or whatever, but they do understand, hey, can I work with this person or no? That's how they look at it. They're very unemotional, even though because they've already gotten out of the way. They've already been awake, You can't go back. You can't go back to taking them seriously. In order to be emotional, you have to take them seriously, which is something the Joker will not do. And so they think to themselves, I need to do A, B, C, and D so then I could be free. Then they do it, and now they don't have to worry about being like held down and feeling like they're suffocating in that place. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how they move in the world. They really do well with the sage, the mercenary. They work well even with, unfortunately, they do work well with the manipulator, which is, it's fine. It's not normally bad. But the thing is, when they realize a snake is there, they do everything in their power to like evacuate. That's the way they work. Like if you are a person at that office and you recognize, oh, this guy's a snake, you can't trust them. They're a liability. So you have to, figure out a way to navigate your way out of there, right? So they end projects pretty quickly. They try to get themselves out of a position when they realize, oh, this person's in a place of position, like a gatekeeper. So you have to be careful, because a Joker cannot function under a snake as far as being optimal. They can do the job, but can they be optimal? Because again, the snake is what? 100% manipulation, 100% emotional. They are not running on logic. Snakes do not run on logic. They do have some logical features, yes, they do. But as far as like what is their mainframe, it's their operation OS is emotional control. They need to control the entire environment because they're very small on the inside, which we'll talk about the snake in the future. That one's the easier one than the mercenary. The mercenary is very complicated. It covers a wide variety of personality types, of people, right? So anyways, back to my main point. The Joker is somebody who isn't, holding any kind of ill will against the people around them, but they cannot, for the sake of their own, peace of mind, take everyone seriously. They have to pinpoint who is A, an asset, B, somebody who's worth, as far as friendship is concerned, can they have a friendship with that person? C, compatibility, right? And then C, the liabilities. So you have to just look at it that way. If the person's an asset, great. If the person is, and that's neutral mode, right? If the person can be their friend, great. They'll file them away in their mind as, okay, this guy could be a friend, but I'm not gonna take him seriously for the job, blah blah blah, right? That's not a serious. The asset is a person you can kind of take somewhat seriously. That's like why you take them seriously. Neutral, right? Friend is like you take them seriously in your personal life, but not in your work life. You don't want to have work relationship with them. You try not to. You don't want to burn that. You don't want them. You don't want them in your. You don't want to have that. Like that's why people say don't mix the two streams. That's why they try not to have friends. For the Joker, it's like one of the most they find it the most difficult. They tend to find it the most difficult because they're such a very high charisma person, and so a lot of people gravitate towards them. Whereas the mercenary outright tells everybody, we're not, we're not, we are not friends. Okay, thanks, no thanks. But they do it. They try to do it in the most nicest way possible. But anyways, that's an aside. Again, like I said, the mercenary is complicated. Look at me. I talk about the Joker. I'm like, this is the Joker episode. Meanwhile, it talks about the mercenary. Anyways, back to my main point. The Joker is somebody who is. They mean well. They try to do the best they can at the job, even though they don't take the job seriously. They automate things if they can, and they try to preserve their energy preservation, right? They have other goals. They have other dreams. They're focusing on that. That's their real mission. So anyways, that's it for now. Let me know what you think about that. Who are you so far? Have you figured out who you are? Which combination of them you are? Let me know in the comment section. Have a great day. God bless you, and I will see you next time.